What I want to do today is I want to play a little bit of game called State Your Case, right? And we're going to do like 7 or 8 minutes on each one of these topics. But I have 5 topics, and I just want to I want to hear your opinion on it, and maybe we'll let the fans vote. Maybe we'll let your listeners vote or whatever it is. But I have 5 topics, and I want to just kind of talk through them and see where you guys are at, because they're based off of this weekend. To me, they're the 5 topics that are the most trendworthy, I guess. I don't know, the biggest talking points. So I'm going to start with this. Number one, Tio, we're going to you first on this one. Who is the more dangerous team in March? Is it Auburn? Or is it Kentucky, assuming that Severe Wheeler and Ty Washington can get back to 100%?
Here's the thing about that, guys. Like, their win against Alabama without those two, so impressive. Oh my God. I thought this team was solely relying on those two players. And yet here they play an Alabama team that relies on their guard play. So you would think, like, matchup versus matchup, Alabama might have something for them. And they still found a way to win. Here's my thing with Kentucky. Those two are healthy. They can compete. And I haven't been riding that bandwagon all year. I've been a little bit apprehensive because I thought they started out a little slow. Here's the thing. Oscar Sheboy is going to have them in every game because that is a man-child. Kellen Grady is a heck of a player. You get those other two back, and then those other guys that got a few more minutes this past game, they're playing well, man. And Calipari's done a terrific job. Everybody's like, National Coach of the Year, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Let's pump the brakes. There's other guys more deserving, in my humble opinion, than Calipari. But the job that he's done has been remarkable to find ways to fit his team together. I'm really impressed with this Kentucky team.
We're going to get into that Coach of the Year conversation here in a little bit. I promise you that's something that's going to be brought up, and I'm going to mention Calipari there. Fanta, where are you at? Auburn, Kentucky, what do you got?
Fully healthy Kentucky is better than Auburn. And the reason why is because Kentucky has evolved as the season has gone on more than Auburn has.
Yes.
And I say that because I think that by the way that Cal did it this past offseason with transfers, that there's an adjustment period there too. We watched Kentucky offensively in December. They are not the team that they are now. There were things that were done, one of which is Kellen Grady and his role, the way it's changed, the way that they've changed his impact on a game. Grady's much more comfortable than he was earlier in the season. This was not Davidson, and that's no disrespect to Davidson, who's a well-run offensive team. But this is a different offense. They play a different way. And I think that there's an adjustment period that occurs with that. Oscar Sheboy is a National Player of the Year candidate, a firm one. He has to be. And he does the role of two. So I'm going to go with Kentucky fully healthy because I don't think that there's a player that could raise the roof of a team more than Ty Washington does for Kentucky. And what I like the most about Kentucky, that Saturday's win states, their supporting cast has grown as the season's gone on. Jacob Toppin's gotten more comfortable. Keon Brooks has gotten more comfortable. Whereas Auburn's supporting cast, are they showing some truer colors here as of late? That's my concern here. And remember, it's all about what you are going into March. Auburn's got a really, really good team, but you got to be hot going into March. And right now, Auburn's had some close scares. They lose to Florida. Kentucky is riding a hot streak. They have a coach who seems to do really well this time of year when he's got a group that's fully bought in. Calipari certainly has that. I'm going to go with the Kentucky Wildcats here because they've evolved. That supporting cast has gotten better. And if they're fully healthy, watch out for Ty.
And can I say something about Auburn? Can I say something about Auburn? Like, they need to fix this Wendell Green situation. That ball needs to be in freaking Jabari Smith's hands at the end of the game. Like, enough. Like, Pearl needs to get that under control.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Is that
sorry?
I'm glad that we're on the same page. I love this Auburn roster, and I love Kentucky too. And your point about the supporting cast is very well made, Fanta. The role players have really established their roles. Everybody knows their job, and they all do it well. And they're old. The lineup that they played on Saturday was 21, 21, 22, 23, 24. They have 24-year-olds on Kentucky now. Who would have ever thought that was happening? Fanta, you're the same age as the dudes on Kentucky.
Yeah.
Right? Think about that for a second. But yeah, the point guard situation at Auburn is going to be something that in the tournament is going to rear its ugly head at some point. because they're going to play a close game, and you're going to come down the stretch, and you're going to have a situation where Wendell Green dribbles the air out of the ball, and it becomes a problem. Like Jabari Smith has been on fire his last 2 games. You got to get him the rock in that situation. Now, what I will say is this: 7.1 seconds left. You have the ball out of bounds in front of the opposing team's bench, 75 feet away from the basket. Jabari Smith is a guy that's going to be at his best when you could get it to him before he has to use a dribble, and he can square up and use his jab series and be able to create a little space to get his shot off, because he's got such a high release. He can get that shot off for just about any defender at the college level. That's a little bit of a difficult thing to do given where the ball was and how much time is left on the clock. So I get that, right? Like, I don't think that not getting the ball to Jabari there is the worst thing in the world. It's just it's an awkward spot to be in. There's things he could have done. I don't think that it was necessarily like a given that he had to do it another way. My concern is that they don't have somebody, if that situation arises in the tournament in a last second setting. KD Johnson is going to go to the rim. He's probably going to run somebody over. I think he would have been a better choice there because he might have gotten fouled, but whatever. Wendell Green is just too small. The biggest issue, if you go back and watch that last play, Tio, they had Walker Kessler at the rim. Walker Kessler was alone at the basket, and Wendell Green was too small to get it to him against the length of Florida's guys. So that point guard thing is going to be an issue for Auburn moving forward. But there's a chance that they might just beat everybody by 10 or 12, and it won't be a thing down the stretch. They're good enough. I think that was as much a product of a desperate Florida team playing at home as anything else.
Yep. Huge win for Florida, who, quite frankly, with their roster, has been a little bit of a disappointment this year.
As Sean Miller would say, a huge win. Huge win.
Huge.